All right, today we're doing something, well, it's a little different. It's kind of wild, actually. We're going to travel back in time, but not with a time machine. We're using a tool from the future, artificial intelligence. We're about to hear the story of a man who literally lived through the birth of America.
So, this is the big question, isn't it? Can you really take all the dry, dusty facts, birth dates, marriage records, old property deeds, and use technology to breathe life back into them? I mean, can we actually reconstruct a voice, a personality, from the distant past? Let's find out.
So meet William Knapp. This guy's life is just incredible. He was born the same year the American Revolution kicked off, and he died right before the Civil War. His life literally spanned the creation of the United States. And the way we have his story is the amazing part. It's a memoir told in his voice, but generated by an AI using only the historical records he left behind.
And just like that, boom, we're there. Picture it. It's a cold winter in Newton, New Jersey, 1856. An 81-year-old man is sitting by the fire, ready to tell his grandchildren about his life. This is his story, brought to life by a machine, and it all starts with the birth of a nation.
Okay, so let's start where he did, at the very beginning. William's entire life was shaped by these massive, world-changing events. Being born in 1775 meant he was, quite literally, a child of the American Revolution.
So here are the highlights, the big beats of his life. He was born in New York as this new nation was being forged in fire. In 1804, he marries a young Sarah Cutter, and then they decide to put down some serious roots in a little town called Newton, New Jersey. That's where he'd spend the rest of his life, building not just a family, but a whole community. But here's the thing about William Knapp. He didn't just live in Newton. In many ways, he built it. His life story is completely woven into the fabric of the town.
So what did he do? Well, his trade was a cobbler. And you have to remember, this is way before mass production. This was a critical job. His hands made the shoes and boots that everyone in town needed to get through harsh winters and muddy roads. A totally essential, practical skill for a new town.
But he wasn't just making shoes, not by a long shot. He was also the justice of the peace. Basically, he was the law. If you had a dispute over land or a squabble with your neighbor, you went to William. This role put him right at the center of everything that was happening.
And on top of all that, he helped build the town's spiritual heart. Before they even had a real church building, he and his wife Sarah were getting people together, organizing the community's faith life, sometimes meeting in barns or traveling for miles just to worship. He was a builder in every single sense of the word. And this is one of those little details that just makes it all feel so real, you know? This wasn't some quaint, perfect little historical town. Nope. It had crime, it had gossip, and getting your horse and wagon stolen back then, that was a huge deal. So big, the local paper wrote about it. It's just a perfect little window into what everyday life was actually like.
So he's building a town, he's the law, he's a pillar of the community, but when you read this AI memoir, it becomes crystal clear what mattered most to him. The real heart of his story was his family.
11. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's how many children he and Sarah had. And the truly incredible part? In an age when losing a child was tragically common, they raised every single one of them into adulthood. That is absolutely extraordinary.
And you better believe that family tree didn't just grow, it exploded. I mean, look at this, and this is just a peak. Samuel has 9 kids, Cyrus 7, Sarah 6. By the time William is sitting by that fire telling his story, he is surrounded by literally dozens of grandchildren. His legacy wasn't just a town he helped build, it was alive and walking all around him.
So you get to the end of a life like that, an incredible life. What's the takeaway? What did he want his grandkids, and all the generations to come, to really understand? This is the good stuff right here.
First and foremost, a lesson on what really matters. For a guy who owned a business and property, you might think his definition of success was all about money. Nope, it was about relationships. It was about the strength of your family and the respect you earned in the community you called home.
Next up, this powerful sense of civic duty. He remembered a world that was still raw from revolution. He saw himself as a guardian of the freedoms that were won in his own lifetime. You can feel this profound sense of responsibility in his words, a message to his family not to take that inheritance for granted.
And then he brings it all back home, right back to where he started. After everything, watching a nation be born, building a town, serving his community his whole life, his final accounting comes down to one simple thing: family. This, he says, this is our true wealth.
Which, brings it all back to us, right here, right now. William Knapp's story was pieced together from old church logs and dusty property records. But our lives? Our lives are being documented in mind-boggling detail. Every email, every photo, every social media post, just countless data points. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If some AI 150 years from now pieces your story together, what is it going to say? What will it decide was your true wealth?